Hey there everybody, how we all doing? Today we're going to be talking about bunny hopping and how you can do it as perfectly as possible every single time. Let's get started. So first up with bunny hopping. Yes, I know we've talked about this many times in the past over the course of many years, and slide hopping has always been a thing throughout Titanfall 2's lifespan, but slide hopping has not always been the optimal way to get around in the Titanfall franchise. There used to be just traditional, straight-up, regular, plain Jane bunny hopping. And today, we're going to talk about the methods that you need to practice in order to get as good as possible at doing that. And of course, this will help your slide hops as well because it will limit the amount of friction that you encounter while sliding on the ground during your slide hops. If you have long slides on the ground while slide hopping, you will lose speed over time. Nowhere near as slowly as you might by dragging and having friction on the ground while doing regular bunny hops, but you will still lose speed all the same. So we're going to go ahead today and work on just the fundamentals of proper bunny hopping and how to get your timing absolutely perfect. And you see here that I'm going to be running with the wingman pistol. The reason for this is actually for the crosshair. If you will notice, when I'm on the ground, what the crosshair looks like. It's just a tight circle, right? Little, very, very minuscule gaps in between the four quadrants of the circle, but overall, it's a nice tight circle. Whenever you're airborne, though, look how the crosshair instantly opens up by a pretty wide margin. And look how at the exact moment that my feet touch the ground, the crosshair blinks back down to its small size. So you see a very large, very obvious change in the way that the crosshair looks. So we can abuse this when working on our bunny hops in order to make ourselves more precise and to practice our precision to minimize that time we spend on the ground. So I just want you to watch as I'm slide hopping here. Watch that crosshair. Don't watch my speed. Don't watch where I'm going or all the mistakes that I'm making. Just watch the crosshair. Watch how sometimes it almost doesn't even move. Just watch how sometimes it does not even move at all. Whereas other times, you see a pretty apparent blink in the crosshair, as I like to call it. You'll see the crosshair blink. Every time you see that blink, you know that your bunny hop is not timed correctly. You see that? You see how you see the little blinks every now and then? Sometimes I get them perfect, and sometimes I don't. So the times that I get them right, you see the crosshair almost not even move. Whereas other times you saw there was a stint of like 5 or 6 bunny hops there, where there were pretty obvious changes in the way that crosshair looked over and over, and I was doing some very imperfect bunny hops repeatedly. The same thing applies to regular bunny hopping as well. Of course, the friction you encounter on the ground is much greater in this game as opposed to the first game because Respawn nerfed proper, traditional, quote-unquote, skill-based bunny hopping into oblivion and instead brought slide hopping into the fold. So all these mistakes that you see me making don't even really matter in the grand scheme of things. But if you're a perfectionist, if you want to get every last ounce of speed out of your character, this is the thing that you need to practice right here. And the wingman is the best way, in my opinion, to do it. You just simply watch that crosshair to train yourself on when the correct timing is. You don't need to try to feel your momentum changing. You don't need to turn on that CL show pause 1, the console command on PC for turning on the velocity meter in like a 1x1 pixel size in the top left corner of your screen, which you literally cannot read anyways if you're playing on a resolution greater than 1080p, or even 720p probably for that matter for most people. It's just not readable and not usable. So this is what I have found to be the best method of working on that bunny hopping timing and getting it as perfect as you possibly can. Because I know people people that are watching me on my Titanfall stream, whenever I do actually play the game, which unfortunately isn't very often anymore, people always ask, hey Frothy, how are you doing these regular bunny hops so well? Of course, as soon as I talk about it, I mess it up. But, I mean, people always ask, how are you doing these regular bunny hops so effectively and not losing speed? Normally, whenever I try, I can get like 3 hops maybe, and then I'm back to walking speed. And the answer is really just work on that bunny hop timing. You can bunny hop more than 3 times or so and still maintain a decent amount of speed in Titanfall 2. Of course, it's not anywhere near as good as slide hopping, but the other facet to this is also just working in those wall hops as well. You want to get those perfect wall hops, just like you did in Titanfall 1. The timing is different, of course, but that is just a bit of fundamental. So I don't want to ramble on for too much longer. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you found this useful. There are other guns that you can do this with as well. The car SMG is a technically functioning candidate, but not really a good one, because the crosshair barely moves. Like, look at where it is where I'm standing versus jumping. Look how that barely even changes. Whereas if I were to switch weapons to, let's say, do I have the Volt? I do have a Volt loadout. Okay, we'll go ahead and open up this Volt loadout, and you'll see, if memory serves correctly, a little bit more of a distinct change. It's not much, but it's distinct enough where you can definitely see that crosshair blinking as you're jumping around. So that is also something that you can use. There's a lot of other guns that work this way, so always just be looking around, try to find whatever works best for you. But as a Titanfall 1 sweaty tryhard, the Wingman was always my weapon of choice because you ran faster with a pistol in Titanfall 1, and it had that perfect crosshair for this practice regimen. So check it out, guys. Give it a look. Hopefully this can help you improve your gameplay, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.